Zlata, you're studio manager at the National Film and Television School. What's your role when it comes to health and safety?
Well, I'm really the practical arm of the producing department, and my role kicks in when actually we start prepared for the actual production. And I support all the tutorial staff and students. And we basically start working already at the script stage from very early on, because we need to many of time research the subjects. And as you've seen today from the variety of subject we approached, you know, we had very different problems to solve. So that's where my role comes in, and I seek advice from outside if I'm not sure. We have also our health and safety advisors at school, and I also call upon Chris and team at Thames Valley Water if we need anything, you know, I'm not sure of. And you know, and that's where my role lies, and I always try to embed it, some kind of a seed in the student's head, so that they at least start develop the health and safety, I call it inner bell, that they know, that they will learn to know where to step back maybe and reassess and regroup, you know, to approach problems. So that's what I hope, that's, you know, because I always try to put across the importance of everybody's safety, even that we are in an entertainment industry. I think the human life is paramount, and I think we need to address it. And the culture in the industry wasn't as strong in the past, but over the last few years it really developing.
Do you think that's in part because of the quite high profile accidents and fatalities that have happened?
I think so, and I think you know, it's not longer acceptable. You know, what was acceptable 30 years ago, perhaps you can't anymore, you know, accept nowadays, and the technology also developing and so forth. So I feel this is, you know, now a part of the industry, and I always been involved in industry in one way or another, so I observe other production, and I can see that it's really now quite playing a major part of each production that you know, people learned. You know.
You mentioned that you get involved at the script stage. How important do you think it is to get in there at the very, very beginning?
It's absolutely important. It's absolutely important, because if you don't, people don't start thinking enough. It doesn't. The information doesn't sink in. You know, all the problems which you might, you know, bring forward, people might not notice it, or they might, you know, glaze over it. So we need to really powerfully introduce immediately quite a searching questions, and make the students aware, you know, where the story coming from. And actually, many of them, you know, students do come back and say, you know, we did not realize, and actually, you know, you might be right there. So I think that's so important.
I'd imagine that producers and production managers have to be quite strong characters as well, to perhaps convince directors and other creatives within the production why you can or can't do certain things.
And I call it, many of time you can see people get into what I personally call creative fever, because they are so charged with what they want to achieve, that many of time actually they don't behave as they would normally behave if they're out of their environment. And that's where the danger lies, that people actually train themselves to actually pause at some point and say, hold on, are we doing the right thing? And the producer and the production manager, you know, are, you know, integral part of these decision making, and also the unit must listen to their advice. So therefore, you know, we are also quite keen on the discipline, and we started introducing also sort of a post-mortem on the projects, where actually people feed in, and then we can actually go over things and actually explain what gone well, what didn't, you know, and things like that. And by this we hope that they will develop, you know, skills which are then useful for their future jobs.